I don't know. That was a.
But what else are you going to do?
Strategic compensation. It's defined as the coordinated alignment of desired organizational goals and compensation. Strategic compensation is a key part of the legislative agenda for North Carolina. As a result, legislators have outlined in House Bill 950 that North Carolina school districts may develop a plan for performance pay to be submitted to the state for review so long as it includes such factors as annual growth in student achievement of students assigned to a teacher's classroom, annual growth for students assigned to a specific school, assignment of additional academic responsibilities for teachers, assignment to a hard-to-staff school, and assignment to a hard-to-staff subject area. All are criteria for bonuses or pay adjustments awarded to all licensed employees, and all are criteria directly aligned to the requirements of the federal Race to the Top grant received by many school districts, including CMS. School leaders say the results of this effort will enable the district to get out in front of any legislative move that is coming as a result of House Bill 950. Consequently, Phase 1 of the Compensation Task Force was initiated in November to begin to design an achievement-based compensation proposal. Although the output of this task force is for teachers and by teachers, this work will be directly connected to Phase 2 of the Compensation Task Force. While Part 1 of this current work focuses primarily on strategic compensation for licensed staff, Phase 2 could come to mean identifying strategic compensation for all CMS employees. This work could begin as early as the spring of 2013. As for the makeup of Phase 1's task force, it was diverse. And these are the names of the participating individuals. Teachers from CMS's traditional schools, elementary, high schools, teachers from CMS's Montessori model, special education teachers, and facilitators. Those same teachers also represented some teacher organizations, such as New Leaders for New Schools, the Charlotte Teacher Association, and the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Association of Educators. Additionally, there were some principals and assistant principals involved in the work as well, who offered their thoughts from an administrative perspective. During this effort, the group focused on a framework that would develop a career path for teachers who want to remain in the classroom throughout the duration of their career, support schools, or progress to administration.
You're going to allow better teachers to remain in the classroom with their students. And what we're going to do is we're going to see more qualified or highly qualified or more experienced and we're going to have better professionals in the classroom over a period of time because of the plan that we're developing.
They also focused on how a district could measure teacher talent effectiveness, which could be used in conjunction with results of student growth and achievement. This group realizes that among their peers, there exists fear about salary cuts for teachers, and fear about over-reliance on testing as a success metric. Throughout the process, participants kept this in mind as they developed the components of the compensation framework, and finally, they focused on the best process for rewarding teachers for the multiple roles that they have within their school, such as lead teacher or mentor.
My hope is that teachers can get compensated for the work that we've done over the years.
And teacher Allison Moore says her other hope is that all teachers will become aware of the work that's been underway since November.
Teachers need to know that this is happening.
To ensure that the group was able to build a framework for attracting and retaining the best teachers for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District while keeping focus on what's best for children, CMS engaged the support of an outside consulting firm, Battelle for Kids. This nonprofit consulting firm has collaborated with several other school districts to help with the facilitation of the following: a series of learning sessions that focused on what strategic compensation is and the key components of well-designed and poorly designed compensation systems, a series of design sessions where teachers engaged in robust discussions to outline critical components of a compensation strategy for CMS teachers, and 2 community focus groups held in January of 2013 designed to present preliminary ideas related to the output of this effort and gather input from other interested stakeholders. Additionally, alternative compensation models from around the country, almost a dozen, were examined and discussed. Some of those districts include Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Denver's ProComp model, and D.C. Public Schools' Impact and Lift. As teachers spoke confidently of the progress they've made thus far, after a few hours of discussions during a recent all-day work session, it was apparent that the process was not easy. Many teachers spoke with emotion and conviction.
Staff at my school already don't have the time to do that.
High school teacher Gail Bolin admits there were many discussions over the course of this work that she found difficult.
But they're not eligible for modeling.
Some teachers fear that numbers alone have come to represent the success or failure of a school system. Gail Bolin says that should change.
The problem with numbers is a lot of times you take out the human element.
This second-grade teacher shares her feelings about school attendance for teachers.
This is your job. I mean, I think it needs to be a lot higher.
This work session and many others had some challenges because of the emotion around the topics discussed. But teacher Gail Bolin says the discussions were all necessary for the team to reach the desired outcome.
The process was intensive, and I'd have to say that every person sitting in there had an opportunity to ask questions, give their viewpoints.
That's what I'm talking about. It's excellent.
We know that the world is changing, and the compensation around how we pay teachers will probably change in many states. As a leader and an executive sponsor of this work with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, I'm very, very excited.
Executive sponsor Millard House says this is a huge step for CMS.
Will be utilized as a footprint for what could happen in terms of compensation for the state of North Carolina.
This group of CMS employees has worked passionately and tirelessly since November to carry out the charge given by Superintendent Heath Morrison. But the work is not over. The continued development of a compensation framework for Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools is a work in progress that, as we move forward, will require input from as many employees in the district as possible before a final plan can be developed.
This is important work, but what is most important to me is that our employees have a voice in it. And so again, I want to extend my sincere appreciation to all of the teachers and administrators who have made this work team happen. They have done astounding work on behalf representing the voices of our teachers and administrators. So we will support their work. We will make sure that once we come to consensus around whether or not we have a plan to move forward, or if in fact we're going to present strong recommendations to our legislature, I will make sure that gets communicated very quickly and very openly with all of our employees here in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. So thank you for this opportunity to share some of these thoughts, and more importantly, thank you for what you do each and every day for our children.
For now, and as Phase 1 concludes, the participants of this phase of the work remain hopeful that the work will indeed evolve into collaboration with other employees to produce a solid strategic compensation strategy for all of us who work for CMS. Samantha Hines, teacher in residence, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, Talent Management.